angels, it's time to assemble as the new Charli's just dropped.
I'm just living that life, bondage, cult classic, but I still pop. I get money, you get mad because the bank's up.
In April of 2023, English pop artist and icon Miss Charli XCX uploaded to her story a screenshot of a new elusive Instagram account titled 360_Brat.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
With no context for what either 360 or Brat could possibly mean, speculation amongst fans grew that this was the start of a promotional campaign for Charli's not yet confirmed upcoming album. Charli's Angels finally got answers in February of this year when Charli XCX herself announced her upcoming 6th studio album titled Brat. Wait, hold on there, not so fast. Before we get into the rest of the video, I just realized that I didn't introduce myself. So hey everyone, welcome to this little corner of the internet. If you're new here, hi, my name is Anishna. Thank you so much for stopping by. Feel free to take a look around as I do actually have another video about Charli. It's my OG Charli XCX video, which you might be interested in. And I also talk about a lot of things to do with pop culture, media, as well as also social commentary. And if you're coming back, well, hey bestie, I hope you've been well. It's great to see you again. Now we can get on with the video. Okay, enjoy. Brat's sound has been described by Charli herself as a club record.
Got my DJ headphones. Flashing lights, come on, flashing lights.
With its tone being bitchy, gossipy, and even aggressive. And its lyrics being rather conversational, as they are things that Charli would text or even tell her friends. Low-key, when I think of the vibe of Brat that it's giving at the moment, I immediately get a picture of Australian TV character Jemay in her bad girl public school era.
I was just like sick of like having to prove myself to like this outdated institution run by corrupt people. I'm all about expressing my true self, you know, like being me. I make my own rules. I can wear what I want. I can do what I want 24/7. Like I'm really expressive and creative here.
I'm just living that life, bondage, cult classic, but I still pop. I get money, you get mad because the bank's up.
In Charli's own words, Brat is the one for the girlies who love to party, sweat, and rave. And this sentiment is very true to Miss Charli herself, because if you know your Charli lore, then you would know that sis is a club kid who made her start performing in raves at 3 a.m. at as young as 14. She really was a child star out here doing damage.
Sick reference though, bro.
Oh, thanks, bud.
So it really feels like Charli's going back to her roots on this one. And while Charli is being true to herself and making the music that she wants to create, she is still doing what sis does best, and that is keeping her finger on the pulse of the music landscape and cultural diaspora, leveraging that steady rise in popularity of club and house music that's been happening over the last few years for this record. As well as this, we've seen from the change up in Charli's look and aesthetic that Brat is also in and of itself a persona, and if you want to call it, an era. And this can be seen with the looks that Charli has been serving in the last recent months, showing her natural, unruly, crimped dark hair and a dark, smoky makeup look with loose-fitting, monochromatic outfits that are giving off a grungy vibe. It's altogether really encapsulating that grungy Tumblr princess era that is very reminiscent of Charli's first record, True Romance, but elevated. She's even titled this summer Brat Summer, which I will be celebrating in spirit, as in Australia it is very cold, so I will be rocking my layers. But this whole idea of Brat Summer really, to me, encapsulates the whole vibe of the album, which is about just having fun, partying, and frankly not giving a fuck. Before we get into the rollout of Brat, it is important to mention that a lot of the dates I'm going to be talking about are going to be a day or so in the future of probably your timeline, as I'm in Australia.
Cleon, no!
Take the concrete dates with a pinch of salt. But without further ado, let's get into it. Since the Instagram account 360_Brat was introduced to the public, Charli would periodically lock and unlock the account. See what I did there?
Your references are out of control, everyone knows that.
So that fans could follow it and would communicate those times on her main account story. Due to the time difference, I got let into the party very late, but hey, better late than never. Anytime we talk about any dates of song releases for Brat, just keep in mind that it was probably teased a few days before on this Brat account. So the Brat era essentially officially began on the 29th of January in 2024, where after removing all her previous photos from her main Instagram account, Charli posted her first video teasing a glimpse of the new era. era, showing her in her true Brat form with the aforementioned curly dark hair, smoky eye look, and really grungy monochromatic clothing. On the 31st of January, she posted a promo clip for her first ever Boiler Room set titled Party Girl. Now, this event is pop culture history in the making, and a key event within the Charlieverse. Like, the cultural significance of this event simply cannot be underestimated. A couple of days later, however, on the 1st of February, Charli released a behind-the-scenes clip of the photo shoot from her first photo that she posted on Instagram, with what would be the chorus of her first release for the album, titled Von Dutch, a single that was officially announced on the 10th of February and released on the 29th. Now, the 10th of February is in and of itself a critical date in the Bratosphere, because this was the day that on the 360_Brat account,
Did you miss me?
Charli released a snippet of a song titled Spring Breakers, a track that within the caption of the video, Charli wrote 4 crushing and devastating words, not on the album.
I'm really, really, really sorry. I didn't realise that it was... I'm sorry.
Why are you laughing? It's not a funny situation.
This was enough to send angels spiraling, me included, because this song absolutely banged. It was giving Taxi 2.0, it was giving XCX World. Everyone was absolutely here for it, and Charli still continued to absolutely play in our faces by featuring Spring Breakers in other aspects of the Bratosphere, such as her Boiler Room sets. And the music video of her other single release, 360.
Don't be fucking rude. Are you kidding me?
However, fret not, my angels, as the Spring Breakers saga is indeed not over. So we'll park it for now and return back. On the 22nd of February, lives everywhere were changed. World hunger was solved and capitalism overthrown when Charli hosted her first ever Boiler Room set, Party Girl. Party Girl had special guests of AG because Yes Club Classics, George Daniel, who I fear absolutely devoured as his set was my favorite of the night, Julia motherfucking Fox, Addison Rae, and Easy Fun.
Oh, that was crazy. I've never actually experienced that sort of atmosphere again before. It's absolutely electric.
Let me tell you, the angels were fed that night as a bunch of songs from Brat were teased during the event. The whole event was an absolute spectacle and a masterclass in Yes, rave culture and club classics. A few days later, on the 29th of February, Charli finally officially announced her upcoming 6th studio album titled Brat. She revealed the cover art at the same time to much criticism, controversy, and backlash.
Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god! What is that?
Charli herself did clap back at a lot of the criticism, saying the following. They were like, why isn't she going to be on the cover? She needs to be on the cover. Why should anyone have that level of ownership over female artists? I'd like for us to question our expectations of pop culture. Why are some things considered good and acceptable and some things deemed bad? She essentially criticized people's expectations for women and their bodies to feature on their cover art a lot of the time, labeling it misogynistic and boring. I somewhat agree, I guess, but I think the overarching sentiment wasn't that she wasn't on it, but was that it just all around wasn't a good album cover, which is also my take, but I don't think it was intended to be a good cover. I think that was kind of the point. So honestly, I don't really care. At the end of the day, good or not, she's got people talking about the cover art and the album itself, and that's where she wins. Also on the 29th of February, Charli's first single off of Brat titled Von Dutch was released. And while I'll save my thoughts on all of the songs for the next section, which will be a full album review, that doesn't mean I can't talk about the music video, honey. In the video directed by Torso, Charli is dancing and frankly scurrying around like a little rat through the Charles de Gaulle airport in Paris, as well as on their aircrafts. And this is just after she's escaped a group of paparazzi, and in the process she is just periodically beating us up, the viewer. When I tell you I gagged when she fell off the wing of the plane, like that was everything.
You better cut the rule, okay?
My quite surface level interpretation of this music video is that it's almost reflecting the relationship between Charli and her fans. So while she loves the relentless attention from us, she also can't help but hate it at the same time. And I also think there's another side of it too, where no matter what she does, there will always be a group of people to follow her every move, to the point where even her actually intentionally harming us only makes us want to chase her down harder. Like the instance of the Brat album cover reveal. While a bunch of fans and critics were actively shitting on it, they were still engaging with her and the album itself. All of this is to say that with obsession comes disdain in a way. And this duality is experienced by both parties, Charli and the fans. I don't know if this is what it means at all. And I also don't know if any of what I said just made sense. But at the end of the day, it's just my interpretation.
That's my opinion!
If y'all have any ideas of what you think it means and what it was trying to convey, please let me know in the comments below. On March 6th, Charli accepted the Powerhouse Award at the Billboard Women in Music Awards, which is an award given to the act whose music dominated in their respective year in terms of streaming, sales, and radio. At this event, she debuted another single on the album titled So I, a song that is about music producer, songwriter, and DJ Sophie, who tragically passed away in 2021, and in relation to Charli, she was one of her key collaborators and dearest friends. I talk more about Sophie and her impact on music in my previous OG Charli XCX video, so go to that if you want to hear more. But the song So I refers to one of Sophie's own songs called It's Okay to Cry, and the song utilizes Sophie's song to communicate the message of how Charli dealt with her grief as a result of Sophie's passing. The performance, while not Charli's best, is still very vulnerable and heartfelt, and you can tell she means every damn word of the song, and it made me really look forward to hearing the studio version. On the 16th of March, Charli teased a Von Dutch remix with TikToker and artist Addison Rae, and she did this by getting papped in a t-shirt that said linked with Addison on Melrose, while also posting a TikTok of her and Addison dancing to a snippet of the remix. The remix was released on the 23rd of March, and Addison's iconic ad-lib scream within the song has now been turned into a TikTok soundbite that has been doing the rounds and used by both Lady Gaga and Julia Fox. On the 4th of April, Charli finally announced the track list to Brat, which contained 15 songs in total, and the album was going to be released on June 7th. And the following day, she released 2 of the singles together, Club Classics and B2B. Prior to the 13th of April, Charli had announced some Brat tour dates for both the UK, the US, and Europe. But on the 13th, a billboard was spotted just near Coachella that simply said Charli and Troy, which was revealed on the 17th of April to be an announcement for their duo North America tour titled Sweat.
Sweat marks all on my coat. Pull it back twice, let's go.
Which is truly just a match made in pop heaven. Like, their collaboration on 1999 and 2099 is living proof as to how well their voices and styles go together. Now, just shy of a month out of Brat's official release, on the 3rd of May, a huge ass lime green wall was put up by Charli at 96 Banker Street in New York. Like, one thing to know about Miss Charli XCX is that she is nothing if not a master of marketing. She even did a performance in front of the wall, debuting her new song off the album 360, which is actually the opening track to Brat. Now, the 10th of May was living proof that nature is in fact healing, as the song 360 was officially released alongside its iconic music video. Directed by Aiden Zamiri, this music video is the Bad Blood music video by Taylor Swift for the girlies that are chronically online. The video contains the hottest esoteric it girls from popular culture. That is to say, they're the it girls who are widely known, but in particular spaces and niches. So compared to the Bad Blood music video, the average person would watch 360 and not even recognize 80% of the faces that are in the video. And that's no shade, because I myself didn't recognize a fair few. But this is the true genius and the whole point of the video. And while I could talk about it, and I'm happy to continue the discussion in the comments if people want to chat, this video I watched by Alpha Media, I think puts it really well and kind of says everything I would want to say about this video as well. And it does the best job at explaining the video's concept cohesively. In a nutshell, it's a self-aware look at what it really means to be an internet girly in this day and age.
You have to be like known, but at the same time unknowable.
Whatever that means.
And honestly, if that does not pique your interest enough to watch this video, I really don't know what will. Any still could be randomly plucked from the 360 music video, and it would automatically look like a Renaissance painting. On the 1st of June, we're getting into Brat Week territory. Charli released the remix of 360 featuring Swedish artists Young Lean and Robin. Can we name a more iconic trio to feature on the same song? Gonna tell my kids this was Bang Bang. And lastly, I told you we'd come back to it. On the 4th of June, to officially celebrate the start of Brat Week, Charli released a snippet of the Spring Breakers song to her main account, leaving many angels to conclude that in some way or another, we are going to get an official release of the song Spring Breakers. I really hope y'all enjoyed this little journey through the rollout of Brat. I'm just so excited that I'm able to actually officially document and archive this piece of history, and can't thank you all enough for joining along with me. Brat has only been out for less than a week or so, yet it has already surpassed 15.4 million streams on Spotify, making it Charli's highest album debut, surpassing Crash. While most fans have been gushing, the critics have been critiquing, with Brat scoring 93 out of 100 on Metacritic based on 19 critic reviews, surpassing Beyonce's Cowboy Carter and Billie Eilish's Hit Me Hard and Soft. Pitchfork gave the album a score of 8.6, making it one of the highest reviewed albums so far on Pitchfork for 2024, and granting it a spot on Pitchfork's Best New Music. When the album was released, New Zealand singer and songwriter Lorde even posted the album on her Instagram story, where she wrote, "The only album I've ever pre-saved is out today. Charli cooked this one different. So much grit, grace, and skin in the game. I speak for all of us when I say it's an honor to be moved, changed, and gagged by her work. There is no one like this bitch. Brava and welcome, Brat." Like, that's pretty major. I don't know about you.
I loved Brat. Killer album, and I think that this record proves that Charli truly is a generational pop artist, which is why I'm feeling a strong 9 to a 10 on this LP.
In terms of fan reception, I don't know if divisive is the word, but while some people like myself love the album, many are underwhelmed by it. Even one of y'all mentioned in the comments of my Charli video that you just weren't vibing it either, which it's definitely been interesting to see the split. I mean, it's been more than a few years since Charli released experimental, innovative music, and I think people were either expecting it to be beyond the sound of this record, like something more boundary pushing and innovative, or something reminiscent of Pop 2 and How I'm Feeling Now, which Brat, at least personally, is definitely neither. So what is it? Well, yeah, Anishna, we should probably get into discussing the actual album itself now. Yes, Anishna, you are indeed correct.
I am so random. I can't believe I just did that. Sorry.
While Brat's sound is bombastic, brash, and boastful, it's also equally, if not more, honest, heartfelt, and intimate. It manages to explore so many themes in as little as under 42 minutes, such as jealousy, narcissism, motherhood, and relationships among women. As DIY magazine writes, Brat is hedonistic to a T, and an exhilarating ride through the highs and lows of going out, whether the fundamental friendships and relationships that are formed and lost, putting the world to rights in the dark corners of the clubs, or the pure ecstasy of an unrelenting dance floor. My boyfriend and I were also talking about how Brat sounds like almost the perfect soundtrack to the several stages of a sick house party. The dance floor is thumping to club classics and talk. You find your close friends on the balcony smoking, and you all descend into a deep conversation that has you feeling a little introspective. After another drink, you're feeling energized, so you head back out onto that dance floor and boogie down. However, the insecurity and feeling out of place has begun to take over. You decide to end the night with a bang, losing yourself on the dance floor to Mean Girls and 365. To me, that is Brat. It's a journey through an unforgettable night of partying, overthinking, salacious gossiping, and genuinely hurting, some of which seem like they shouldn't go together, but do. Kicking off the album with 360 is the opener. I love the electronic beat on this one and its subdued consistency throughout the song, giving it a very bouncy feel, and my god, is that chorus an earworm. It's so catchy. I will say though, between 360 and the album closer 365, since they are so similar, I do prefer 365, because if you think 360 is catchy, girl, you haven't met her sister 365. Among my favorite lines are as well as legacy undebated You Gon' Jump If AG Made It, and of course the absolutely iconic I'm Everywhere I'm So Julia. The song 360 is essentially about Charli's undeniable impact on pop music, as well as her soon-to-be legacy within the industry, and how her impact and its pervasiveness has indeed penetrated popular culture, to the point where, yes, sis is everywhere. The second track, Club Classic, starts off insanely strong with the kick and Charli's rhythmic speaking, which whenever she does this, it's like literal crack to me.
When I get to the club, I wanna hear those club classics. Club classics, club classics.
She just has an ear for catchy and memorable lines and knows exactly how to deliver them to get it stuck in your mind. And this is such an essential part of pop music, is creating those captivating hooks. I will say personally, for me, the first minute is definitely the strongest. When it transitions to that more trancey beat and Charli singing, it's less my vibe, but still a banger no less. The message of this song could not be more clear, as Charli lists out exactly who she wants to hear when she's dancing in the club.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, in everything.
If you haven't noticed, the songs on the album are very literal, which was very intentional by Charli. The message isn't hard to understand and doesn't require an explained video to decipher, which I've got to say is very refreshing to see an artist just kind of lay it all bare. With the third track, Sympathy is a Knife, in my initial Charli video, I talk about how one of my favorite things about her music is its ability to have a dual meaning and purpose. And I coined this vibe sad twerking. This basically means that most of Charli's songs that I could shake my ass to, I could also listen to when I was feeling at my most raw and vulnerable. And let me tell you, Sympathy is a Knife ticks all of that criteria to a T, making it a certified sad twerking anthem. The brashness of the beat matched with the vulnerable, belted out lyrics about self-doubt and insecurity fit together seamlessly for me. My favorite part is definitely the chorus and the melody of those lines. As belters and ballads are definitely my bread and butter. In terms of the song's meaning, that's where it gets a bit juicy, I guess, and in Charli's words, gossipy, as it's speculated that this song is about Taylor Swift and Charli's insecurity around the time that Taylor Swift was dating Matty Healy, who's a singer for the band 1975, the band which Charli's fiance, George Daniel, is a drummer for. We see Charli bear her insecurity in the line, and direct references to Taylor Swift in these lines.
Don't wanna see a backstage of my boyfriend's show. Fingers crossed behind my back, I hope they break up quick.
And juiciness aside, this song is not just about this one girl who opens up Charli's insecurities, but also about those unprecedented feelings you get that you don't know why you're feeling them or how to stop feeling them. Like, sometimes we don't have control over these things, but also just how much they can take over our whole being. This is a message that's quite universal and is why it's a track that I have been consistently going back to. Especially as, full disclosure, I try to establish myself in this YouTube space with the limited time I have outside of work, and seeing similar creators doing really well and growing really quick. The way Charli just bears her soul on this song is really admirable, and as a result resonates with me a lot. The fourth track, I Might Say Something Stupid, is a much slower piano ballad that continues the insecurity train we're following from the previous track. I haven't gone back to this one too much as I'm busy partying to the rest of the album, whereas I feel like when I inevitably do descend into that headspace of this song, I will definitely be pressing play on it. I like the vulnerability of Charli's vocals in this song, and also the song's simplicity, because it very clearly wants you to focus on the lyrics specifically. And in this song, she's vividly describing a party where she's feeling out of place, almost wallflower-esque, but the fact is she is also too well known at this party to simply just fade into the background and be completely on the outside. And this is in both a literal and metaphorical context, as I'm sure you already gathered, where she's really unpacking that dissonance she feels about being big, but in a particular niche. On another person's YouTube video, I can't remember who it was, but I remember seeing a comment that said Charli's too indie to be mainstream and too mainstream to be indie. And I think this song aims to examine this. My favorite line is,
I look perfect for the background. I get nervous, sip the wine. I go so cold. I go so cold.
Lastly, I didn't love the abrupt ending, especially since the song is less than 2 minutes. It abruptly cutting like that directly draws attention to how short the song is. But most songs on the album do feel that way in terms of leaving us yearning for more, which I guess that's always a good spot to leave people in. But yes, I think my true feelings about this song will really come out when I am in that headspace myself, more so than I am now. The 5th track, Talk Talk, is the one that feels most traditionally poppy to me, and the vocals actually remind me of Prince's Kiss. I don't know if anyone sees the vision, but it really worked for me. I love the almost rolling synths in the background that give you this really airy, heady atmosphere that's that kind of intoxicating atmosphere when you're in a room with your crush. And this energy matches the song's message, which is essentially about that beginning stage where you like someone and they like you, but you haven't necessarily like told people in your life yet, and it's still just between the two of you. But then you're put in situations where you're with that person and other people, and so you're not able to really fully be together, and you're just kind of waiting to see who makes the first move. And I felt this song's lyrics in my core because, full disclosure, my boyfriend and I definitely did have a period of that when we were first starting to see each other, and so it really threw me back there, but in the most bare bones skeletal way. And what I mean by that is there's no fluffy language or romanticization in this song. It's literally just saying exactly what you do feel at the time. The outro is also a standout because it's just so cute. Like, I don't know what else to say. Just pure fun to sing along to. All in all, I do really love this track, and because of its meaning, it really does have a special place in my heart. Initially, with the 6th track, Von Dutch, I have to admit that when I first heard snippets of it before its release, I wasn't a fan. I found it way too brash and a bit grating for me personally, because there was this almost dentist drill-like sound in the background, which wasn't really for me, and it kind of made me fearful about the album as a whole. However, this is the power, the magic, if you will, of Miss Charli XCX and her music. You really can't take it at first listen / face value. You really have to sit in it, because after the 4th or 5th listen, I was caught hook, line, and sinker. The song is really just a rallying call for listeners to embody unapologetic confidence, and it's striking and outspoken because of this. All in all, a sickening way to kick off the Brat era. Now those drills, put them in my head any day. My favorite line in the song has to be, because it is such a bar, you can't convince me otherwise. The melody is also just so unique and impactful in how it accentuates certain words of the lyrics that Charli wants you to focus on. And the whole composition of the song just eats. Its message is also pure facts, because I want the microphone to be on when I'm saying this, because the people need to know. Hear me when I tell you that Miss Charli XCX is well and truly your favorite artist's favorite artist. And this is not up for debate. Chapel Roan, without Vroom Vroom, you wouldn't have super graphic ultra modern girl. And that is facts.
I need a song on the record that is undeniably a gay pop anthem. The secret to it was Charli XCX's producer, Mike Weiss. Ooh, because I was like, who the fuck knows gay club music the best? Charli.
The song that I listen to before a night out with my friends is Vroom Vroom by Charli XCX. I also love Speed Drive by Charli XCX.
Renee Rapp
cemented her back as a pop princess, which she is. They made like Vroom Vroom and all that stuff together, which is became like such a specific hyper pop sound, and has like really influenced a lot of like pop music today. So I love Speed Drive. I think Speed Drive is so good. I think everything she does is so sick, and she's so hot.
Did you know? The guy who made that TikTok song that I can't escape.
You mentioned Charli XCX, and I've seen you talk about her before. What is it about her that you find so inspiring?
I feel like what she's really good at is she's really good at writing a song that is about a specific thing. She just nails it. And I feel like she does that pretty consistently with a lot of her music. And I also love like the production of her songs. So yeah, I just think she's like really cool and doing her own thing, and not afraid to I guess be herself, which is kind of that's the whole point.
Aside from her ridiculously, stupidly talented artistic brain, her songwriting skills, how many songs she's written for other artists, how bad of a bitch she is. People need to put some respect on this woman's name.
And I feel like this song is kind of embodying that energy in a way. Like, she knows she's your number one, and yet she's just over here living that life. The 7th track, Everything Is Romantic. I really like the additions of the strings in this song and the dynamism with how many levels it has, and the vivid pictures that some of the lyrics paint.
Lemons on the trees and on the ground, sandals on the stirrups of the scooters, neon orange drinks on the beach.
But the song as a whole, personally, isn't really my style, and I don't know how often I'd listen to it outside of like hearing it in a club. It's the first miss of the album for me, and it's not even because it's bad, it's just genuinely not my taste. Like, I think this is my boyfriend's favorite on the album, so there you go. The harmonies around 2 minutes and a half kind of reminded me of Hide and Seek by Image Heap, if anyone else got that. And Everything Is Romantic Shock Horror is about that period in a relationship where, yep, you're just romanticizing everything. The rose-tinted glasses are well and truly on, and you're just romanticizing what that person does, where y'all are, what you're doing together. And this is conveyed in the small vignettes that Charli gives us of an Italian holiday with her beau. The 8th track, Rewind, is my current, I want to highlight, but my current favorite on Brat. The beat just hits so hard. I love the silly little addition of the DJ backspin when it rewinds. And it's my favorite style of vocal delivery that Charli does, where again, she's just like rhythmically speaking. And the song's just all about nostalgia. What more could you want? I love how it's still got that dynamism with that beat switch around 2 minutes in. And the last minute of the song is kind of almost giving how I'm feeling now with the synths, which is my favorite Charli album.
I just wanna rewind, I just wanna press rewind. Yeah.
My favorite lyric is definitely
Used to burn CDs full of songs I didn't know. Used to sit in my bedroom putting polish on my toes.
Like, the imagery is just so vivid, and the delivery of lines is chef's kiss. Once again, this song does what it says on the tin, where Charli is yearning for a time where things were simpler, similar to her single 1999 off her album Charli. But unlike 1999, I feel like this song goes a little bit deeper, as well as more internal, because in this song, Charli is yearning for a time essentially before her fame and stardom / her early years of fame and stardom, when she didn't worry about what she looked like and wasn't concerned with professional recognition or accolades. This song just really ticked all the right boxes for me in terms of what I look for in a pop dancey song, and dancing to it at the pre-release party was a spiritual experience. The 9th track, So I, is an ethereal ballad that details the intimate relationship between Charli and Sophie, and does so through sincere flashes, while still recognizing Sophie's colossal legacy and managing to preserve that in its tribute. The chorus feels very transcendent, much like Sophie's legacy after her death.
Always on my mind, every day, every night. You're still been so bright. When did I put you away? I was scared sometimes. You had a power like a lightning strike.
The line where Charli talks about watching Sophie online once she heard about the news of her death is just so heart-wrenching. And her contemplating whether Sophie would have liked this song So I, to me, not only just embodies her persistent grief at the loss of her friend, but also how her whole career of producing and making music is a constant reminder of that loss. But also how Sophie still lives within Charli's music, as she is continuously thinking of what Sophie would do and what she would have thought about her music. The part around the 3-minute mark where Charli is just vocalizing really takes you to another plane, as it's so loaded with emotion. This song is just such a stunning tribute to Sophie, and is definitely one of my favorites on the album just because of how ethereal and beautiful it is. Just fantastic. The 10th track, Girl So Confusing, was unfortunately another miss for me, as I find neither the chorus nor the melody really that compelling, and the lyrics to be kind of surface level. For some reason, all these elements that I like on other tracks just didn't seem to match up well for me on this one. Like, the spoken tone of the lyrics don't really work for me, as it feels like it almost clashes with the production. I don't really find the chorus to be that catchy or gripping. And again, this is just the one time where those elements didn't really gel with me per se. But watch me in classic listening to Charli fashion have this as one of my top 3 songs off Brat in a month's time. This song, also feeding into the juiciness and the gossip, is rumored to be about either Lorde or Marina and the Diamonds. I think there's personally a stronger case for Lorde with the hair reference, as Charli would constantly get mistaken for Lorde purely just because they both had long, dark, curly hair and a similar grungy aesthetic, as well as the lyric about coming to Charli's party and putting her hands up. That feels like a direct reference to Lord's Song Team, where she says she's kind of over getting told to put her hands up in the air. The song generally contemplates the constant comparison and competition women feel towards each other, and particularly within the music industry, Charli is pondering whether this girl that she's talking about in the song wants her to fail, or dislikes her, or even likes her, and she herself is trying to decipher how she feels about this artist. In conclusion, this is probably my least favorite song
at the moment,
but only time will tell whether I continue to feel this way. The 11th track, Apple, for me is definitely going to be a grower, much like an apple tree. Like at the moment, I really enjoy it, but I can see myself loving it in a few weeks' time. The song feels very 80s new age, reminding me of Don't You Want Me Baby and Never Gonna Give You Up. We have a reference to driving in there and some revving noises in the background, which is very synonymous to Charli's discography and the way she produces music and her brand overall. What I also really like about this song is that it seems to tell us a story and take us on a journey, where Charli initially is simply observing the apple, then she starts to notice its flaws, and by the end of the song she realizes it's probably no good. This song is probably the least straightforward to deconstruct off of the whole album, but Charli herself has discussed in an interview how it's really about the relationship she has with her parents, and like most children and their parents, how complicated and complex that relationship can be, and also how as you grow older you start to realize that you're not that different from your parents, and you also probably carry the burden of a lot of their generational trauma as well. At first, her consistent need to drive to the airport really confused me until I then learned that Charli actually used to live near an airport. So that's probably where she went as she was growing up to kind of be alone and escape from her parents. Mine was Otterspool Park along the River Mersey in Liverpool. If you know, let me know. I feel like there's a lot of meaning that you could definitely sit down and unpack with these song lyrics, because unlike an apple, it has layers. In the club, I felt the 12th track, B2B,
in my soul.
Like, this song is meant to be danced to. If you haven't listened to it in a live setting yet, please do yourself a favor and do it. Invite a couple friends round and just put it on full blast. And that being said, if you feel like you haven't clicked with it yet, it's probably because you haven't heard it in the environment it's meant to be heard in. Because let me tell you, it went so much harder at that pre-album release party than I was expecting. We have not been putting enough respect on B2B's name. The synths throughout the song are just so insane, and I love the two specific kind of beat switch ups and tone shifts. They're just so fun, and for lack of a better word, cunty. The repetitiveness of the lyrics actually make this song really fun too to sing in the club, and it's just really easy to get in the groove of. And again, this song is less obvious in its meaning, but it seems to be a reference to when you back to back with a DJ. So Charli is describing a relationship where the person she's seeing is also seeing someone else. So she's metaphorically going back to back with this other woman. This song absolutely slaps, and after that pre-album release party, I am moving it to my house party playlist as we speak. Track 13, Mean Girls. Now, what else to say besides absolutely yes?
My God, what a camp hole buff this is. I mean, hey.
The introduction of this song is giving S&M by Rihanna, so we're already off to a great start. And the chorus is obviously an absolute anthem. Like, this song is meant to be belted at the top of your lungs. Everything about the song just works. From the rhythmic speaking, the production sounding like Sexy Bitch by Akon and David Guetta, the lyrics that describe all the mean girl archetypes but then flip it on its head to the accuser, and the jazz piano interlude taking us to church. I love it, 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 I love it. It's very throwback-esque to those kind of club songs like Wild Ones, and all the kind of other ones are leaving my mind right now, but where we would be shouting them at the top of our lungs. And yes, I just love how she subverts these archetypes that she throws out there and kind of spins it back on the person who's saying those things to really actually question, why are you saying these things? Are you insecure? Are you jealous? You better figure it out. This song is definitely a cultural reset and is going to be memorialized in the burn book for real. The 14th track, I think about it all the time, is also one that I've identified as a grower for me. Like, it's not on heavy rotation at the moment, but with every listen I grow more and more fond of it. I like how Charli switches switches up her vocal delivery. It reminds me a lot of Kera Kera and her style, and I feel like Charli's done this a couple of times on the album, which I really like. She's not only experimenting with the club genre and her production style, but also her voice. And because she's adopted this kind of tone for this song, it almost sounds like a voice note or just a general pondering. And the fact that this song remains within a pretty confined vocal range, the production is very consistent and almost industrial, which reminds me of How I'm Feeling Now Again. These elements, for me anyway, make the song very reflective in tone, and again, directs your attention to the lyrics specifically. It's the kind of song you would listen to on a rainy day staring out of a window on public transport. The song contemplates the prospect of having a baby, where Charli spoke in an interview about this song being inspired by when she went to visit her friends who had just had a baby, and how everything was the same but also completely different because they've had a child. I love how this song explores the contradictions you have when you're thinking about the prospect of having a child, like when Charli's asking, will she miss her freedom? Will it give her a new purpose? And I just cannot tell you how relatable this is as a woman. The prospect of babies is already so pervasive, and it only gets more and more and more as you get older. And Charli's vulnerability in and of itself is so admirable here.
We had a conversation on the way home. Should I start my birth control? Because my career feels so small in the existential scheme of it all.
Like, we talk about vulnerability within music, and don't get me wrong, hiding that under such poetic language is great. But again, it's just, I can't think of another word other than refreshing to see the smoke and mirrors gone and somebody just literally bearing their soul. But anyway, closing the album with 365. Like I said, I prefer this song to 360 as it's somehow even more confident and bratty, if that's even possible, as these traits are further accentuated with the tone transition at around 1 minute 30. At least for me, the lyrics are so much catchier and funner to sing along to. Like, sis is bumping that and I'm right there with her.
Dial 999, it's a good time. Who the fuck are you? I'm a brat when I'm bumping that. No, I wanna hit my track. Are you bumping that? Till the windows crack, I'll be hitting that.
I can't tell you how much I wander around the house or get up from bed literally reciting these lyrics because they're just so catchy. And this song has levels where by the end we are fully in rave mode, and the production is almost acidic in nature, which kind of hits different. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Full disclosure, openness and vulnerability, just like Charli. So many people on YouTube have been so quick to put out their analyses and reviews of the album, and all of the ones I've watched have been really incredible. And so I really hope someone out there enjoyed my breakdown and felt it worth watching. If you did, please let me know by, like, I don't know, leave a green emoji in the comments or something. Thank you so much, everyone. Stream Brat if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Guess.